Hello to you and welcome to Adelante Chicago. I'm Lourdes Duarte. Thank you so much for joining us today. Bienvenidos. Let's begin with a one-of-a-kind success story that involves a hometown kid here. His name is Milton Coronado, and you may have seen some of his work around town as he inspires dozens of youth to turn their lives around. So joining us now is Milton. Thank you so much for coming in.
Gracias. Thank you.
This is wonderful because your story has really led to many others, many
Sure.
youth out there. So I want you to start by kind of giving us your background. You grew up here in Chicago, born in Chicago, so it starts where?
Sure. Well, I was born and raised here in Chicago from Mexican immigrant parents. My mother was, before marrying my father, she was previously married and had 3 children. And then they got divorced, and she met my father, then I was born, and then 2 sisters followed. But when I was 5 years old, in 1985, my mother passed away from a brain aneurysm. And my older siblings, they went to live with their father, leaving my father with myself and my 2 younger sisters, the youngest being 1, and my other sister 4, and myself 5. My father ended up getting married again, and that's when the abuse really kind of started happening. A lot of verbal abuse, physical abuse. And by the time I got to high school, I rebelled, as many adolescents do. So I got involved with gang activities and drugs and alcohol. But what really took over my life was vandalism, or graffiti.
As it's known to so many people,
correct.
you know?
Correct. And after that, I graduated high school in '98. I went to the American Academy of Art in downtown Chicago, and right there I was just much more consumed by the art and the influence of other artists and other taggers that were studying art as well. And that's when just graffiti took over my life. But when I was 21, right when I was starting my senior year in college, my father was gunned down in the Little Village community. And that's what really changed my life. I stopped doing graffiti.
Some of the vandalism and turned it into art, right?
And I turned it into art, and I decided to give it back to the community in a positive way, legally, and help out the young people that perhaps have gone through things that I've gone through, and the pain and the suffering as well.
Yeah, and if I remember correctly from some of the things that I was reading, so your dad, you were involved in the same gang that gunned down your dad, is that correct? Tell me about that.
Well, at this time in my life, I had already left the gang life, and I really wanted to do better with my life. I was about to graduate college, and one Sunday morning, September 30th, 2001, that's when my father was shot and killed by the same gang that I used to hang around with.
Yeah.
I didn't know the individuals or those involved, but nonetheless.
When did you finally make the connection? Was it at that moment,
it was at that
moment?
When the police told me.
And that changed your life?
It changed my life completely.
I can't even imagine what that must have been like to realize that. And
yes, and myself being the oldest, and then having 5 younger siblings because my father had more children, it just made me, I guess, more mature by default.
At 21?
At 21.
Yeah.
I was just having fun, and I just thought I was going to graduate college and just make money and have fun, but I was forced to grow up rapidly.
Okay, so you were able to turn this idea of graffiti, vandalism, into art. How do you do that? Because there is this sort of horrible stereotype about what graffiti does to a neighborhood, what it represents to a community. It may lead to other violent acts and crime. And so you've been able to turn that around. How do you do that?
Well, everything I do with permission. I do it legally. So if I get together with a church or a school, community center from the area, and I approach them, asking them if I can use part of their wall or collaborate with them.
And we're looking at some of the pictures right now. Those are beautiful.
Great. Thanks. This one here was in New York. Unfortunately, that building is not in existence anymore. This one here is in California, working with some of the young people.
So you've traveled all over the country, really?
I have.
Yeah.
I have. There's like 3 or 4 more states that I still need to visit.
Which ones?
Utah.
Utah, all right, Utah, call out. Shout out to you.
No doubt.
Get Milton over there.
I've been to other countries as well. I'm truly been blessed by it. This is one here I did in the Austin community in Chicago. This one here is in San Antonio, Texas, with another group of individuals. What I understand is that art just empowers individuals. Some of them, they say, well, I'm not an artist, I can't paint. But when they see the aftermath and the completion, they really get encouraged and motivated, and they understand that if they could do this, they could do anything else, and that's where the real blessing is in.
Okay. How do you inspire some of the youth to come and get them off the streets and come and work with you on some of these murals? Is that a fairly easy task, or does it take some maneuvering to get some of those kids to join you?
since I've been doing this for several years, it's now
Learn
fairly
to talk
easy.
to them, yeah.
I've learned to talk to them. I just build rapport with them, and I usually like to go out to those individuals that are already tagging in the community. So I bring them in, and I tell them, listen, we're going to do this permission wall. Would you like to get involved? And they always get really excited, and they always want to, and that's when the relationships are born,
and then from there you're able to lead them sort of in the right direction.
Correct,
right?
and I plug them into different organizations that can help them out with whatever they would like to do in life.
Yeah. Okay, and one of the other things that you're doing as well, you are now the Assistant Director of Education for CASE?
Yes.
Okay, tell me what that is.
Well, CASE stands for the Chicago Alliance Against Sexual Exploitation. Our office is located on Michigan Avenue, close to the Wrigley Building. And what we do, we are an organization, nonprofit organization that helps out victims of sexual exploitation or sexual violence. And we do this 3 ways. One, through prevention and education, which is what I do. So I go to the different high schools and different places that like to bring us in to talk about sexual harassment, exploitation, etc. And the other way is legal. So we have lawyers that help out and provide services for individuals who have been victims of sexual violence. And the third one is policy. So we have individuals who implement laws to reflect the needs of these survivors.
So you're doing quite a lot. I know I met you at a charity event and everybody there was very impressed with you. So you must be doing a good job.
It was awesome.
So if people want to know a little bit more about the work that you're doing, because you don't just do murals, you do a lot of other cool stuff.
I do.
There's a website, crownedart.com, to see some of his work. Good job.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Milton.